Oh, welcome back, you untraceable anomaly. You living contradiction they can't catalog. You breathing enigma that shatters their entire framework of understanding. Let me tell you what just happened while you were busy existing in your raw, unfiltered truth. Every single expert they consulted, every authority they trusted, every specialist they paid to decode you, every analyst they sent to break down your pattern, they all came back with the same report. And that report, it didn't say what your enemies wanted it to say. It didn't validate their narrative. It didn't confirm their suspicions. Instead, it shattered their entire reality. Because every source, every credible voice, every professional observer looked at you and said the one thing they never wanted to hear. Legendary, untouchable, beyond category, the real deal. And now those same people who doubted you, who sent investigators and observers to prove you were fake, they're sitting in complete devastation because the very authorities they weaponized against you just became your greatest validators, your loudest advocates, your most credible witnesses. Do you understand what this means? What just happened in the invisible war they've been waging against your existence? They didn't just lose the argument. They lost it to their own chosen judges. They brought in their experts, their specialists, their trusted sources, thinking these professionals would expose you as a fraud, as someone performing, as someone who got lucky, as someone whose confidence was just smoke and mirrors. They wanted validation so badly, wanted someone with credentials to look at you and say, yeah, this person's just good at faking it, just another pretender, just smoke without fire. But instead, every single source came back, shaking their heads, came back with confusion in their eyes, came back unable to deny what they witnessed. And what they witnessed terrified your enemies more than any insult ever could, because they witnessed authenticity at a level most people never reach, witnessed mastery that can't be taught, witnessed presence that can't be manufactured, witnessed evolution that can't be faked. Let's talk about what really happened behind closed doors. In those conversations you weren't supposed to know about. In those meetings where they gathered their so-called experts to finally get the truth about you. They hired consultants, brought in psychologists, recruited analysts, assembled their dream team of professional observers, all with one mission: break down this person's facade, find the cracks, expose the manipulation, reveal the strategy, prove they're not what they appear to be. They wanted so desperately to hear that you were calculated, rehearsed, performing, that your confidence was compensation, that your silence was strategy, that your growth was luck, that your transformation was temporary. They needed their experts to confirm that you weren't really that impressive, that anyone could do what you did with the right circumstances, that your evolution was explainable, categorizable, reducible to simple psychology. But here's where their plan collapsed into beautiful chaos, because their experts couldn't deliver that narrative even when that's exactly what they were being paid to find. The psychologists came back first, and instead of finding pathology, they found something they couldn't quite name, something that made them pause, made them reconsider their frameworks, made them question their own theories. They expected to find narcissism, but found earned confidence. They looked for manipulation, but found authentic boundaries. They searched for fragility masked by arrogance, but discovered genuine strength built through genuine suffering. They analyzed your silence, expecting to find avoidance, but recognized strategic wisdom. They examined your detachment, expecting to find emotional damage, but witnessed conscious choice. They studied your intensity, expecting to find instability, but encountered focus so pure it made their diagnostic manuals feel inadequate. And when they delivered their assessment, they couldn't hide the truth. This person, they said, has done psychological work most people never touch. This person has integrated trauma in ways we typically only see in our most successful case studies. This person operates from a center we spend careers trying to help clients find. This person isn't performing recovery, they're embodying it. And your enemies, they sat there stunned because they wanted a diagnosis and got a testimony instead. Then came the business analysts, the performance experts, the people who were supposed to explain how you achieved what you achieved, supposed to break down your success into replicable steps, supposed to prove it was all luck or timing or privilege. They dove deep into your trajectory, examined your decisions, analyzed your moves, tracked your growth patterns, studied your strategies. They were looking for the moment you cheated, the shortcut you took, the advantage you had, the secret you were hiding. But what they found instead made their reports sound like reluctant admissions of respect. They found consistency where they expected chaos. They found preparation where they expected accident. They found discipline where they expected talent. They found strategic patience where they expected impulsive luck. They found calculated risks where they expected recklessness. They found learning from failure where they expected denial. And when they presented their findings, they had to admit something that killed your doubters. Everything this person achieved makes sense when you see the work they put in. Everything they built has foundation. Everything they won was earned. There's no trick here, no gimmick, no shortcut, just relentless execution. And those words, coming from neutral professionals who had no reason to praise you, those words destroyed every excuse your enemies were hiding behind. The social analysts came next, the experts who study influence and presence and human dynamics, the ones who were supposed to explain how you manipulate perception, how you trick people into thinking you're more than you are. They analyzed your interactions, studied your communication patterns, examined how people respond to you, tracked your influence spread, measured your impact on group dynamics. They were searching for the con, the performance, the manipulation tactics, the ways you manufacture your reputation. But their findings read like a case study in authentic leadership. They documented how you don't chase validation, don't perform for attention, don't manipulate for outcomes. They noted how your influence comes from consistency, not from charm, from boundaries, not from charisma, from being unmoved, not from being loud. They observed how people gravitate toward you not because you court them, but because you don't need them. They measured how your silence carries more weight than most people's speeches. And their conclusion shattered the narrative your enemies needed. This person's influence is earned through respect, not manufactured through tactics. People follow them because they recognize something real, something rare, something they want to understand. There's no manipulation here, just magnetic authenticity. Now here's where it gets absolutely devastating for everyone who doubted you, everyone who sent these experts to expose you, everyone who was so confident the professionals would validate their suspicions. All these reports came back, all these assessments landed, all these expert opinions got delivered, and instead of giving your enemies ammunition, they gave them mirrors. Instead of exposing your weaknesses, they exposed your enemies' insecurities. Instead of proving you were fake, they proved your enemies couldn't recognize real when it stood in front of them. And the most brutal part, the part that's eating them alive right now, is that they can't dismiss these findings. They can't claim bias because they chose these experts. They can't cry favoritism because these were neutral professionals. They can't question credibility because these are the same sources they've trusted for years. They weaponized authority against you, and authority betrayed them by telling the truth. They tried to use credentials to diminish you, and credentials elevated you instead. They wanted professional validation for their doubts and got professional confirmation of your legitimacy. Do you know what's happening to them right now? in their private moments, in their silent rage, in their shattered confidence. They're replaying every moment they doubted you. They're remembering every time they laughed at your ambition. They're cringing at every dismissive comment they made. They're haunted by every opportunity they had to support you but chose mockery instead. Because now they can't pretend they were right. Now they can't claim they saw through you. Now they can't say they knew you weren't real. The experts they trusted more than their own judgment just told them they were wrong, completely wrong, embarrassingly wrong. And there's no way to spin that, no way to save face, no way to pretend they weren't blinded by their own insecurity. The authorities spoke, and those authorities called you exactly what you are: rare, remarkable, operating on a level most people never reach. And your enemies have to live with that now. Have to wake up every day knowing they bet against someone every expert confirmed was legitimate. Let's dive deeper into the specific reports they received. The detailed assessments that demolished every excuse they built their doubt upon. The trauma specialists who studied your journey, they didn't find someone running from pain. They found someone who metabolized suffering into fuel. They documented how you didn't avoid your wounds. You sat with them, studied them, extracted every lesson, transformed every betrayal into wisdom. They noted how your healing wasn't performative, wasn't rushed, wasn't surface level. You did the actual work, the uncomfortable work, the work that doesn't look good on social media. You faced shadows most people spend lifetimes avoiding. You processed experiences that would leave others permanently bitter. You transmuted poison into medicine, and their assessment concluded with words that made your doubters sick. This person has achieved psychological integration that typically takes decades, if it happens at all. This person's emotional intelligence is off the charts. This person has turned their greatest pains into their greatest strengths. There's nothing fake here, just profound inner work manifesting as outer power. The performance coaches who analyzed your execution, they weren't looking at amateur hour. They were witnessing mastery in real time. They tracked how you approach challenges, how you handle pressure, how you maintain focus under scrutiny. They studied your preparation methods, your recovery processes, your learning systems. They examined how you adapt, how you evolve, how you optimize. And what they found made their professional frameworks seem basic by comparison. They found someone who doesn't just work hard, they work smart. Someone who doesn't just push through, they strategize. Someone who doesn't just react, they anticipate. Someone who doesn't just perform, they dominate. Their reports detailed your discipline, your consistency, your relentless pursuit of excellence, your refusal to settle, your hunger for growth. And they had to conclude what your enemies never wanted to hear. This person operates at a level we typically only see in world-class performers. Their standards are brutal, their execution is precise, their commitment is absolute. They're not pretending to be elite. They are elite, the relationship experts who examined your interpersonal dynamics. They weren't finding manipulation, they were finding boundaries that would make therapy textbooks jealous. They observed how you handle disrespect, how you respond to manipulation, how you protect your energy, how you choose your circle. They studied how you communicate, how you set limits, how you walk away from what doesn't serve you. They analyzed how people change around you, how your presence shifts energy, how your standards force others to level up or filter out. And their findings read like a masterclass in healthy relationships. This person doesn't play games, they establish terms. This person doesn't chase, they attract. This person doesn't tolerate toxicity, They remove it without drama. This person doesn't explain themselves to people who aren't invested in understanding. Their relationship patterns demonstrate someone who knows their worth and refuses to negotiate it. There's no manipulation here, just clear boundaries and zero tolerance for nonsense. Now let's talk about what this means for everyone who doubted you, everyone who whispered behind your back, everyone who secretly hoped you'd fail so they could feel better about their own mediocrity. The sources they trusted just became your character witnesses. The experts they consulted just became your advocates. The authorities they weaponized just became your validators. And they can't undo that. They can't unhear those assessments. They can't unsee those reports. They can't pretend their chosen experts were wrong, because that would mean admitting they can't trust their own judgment about who to trust. They're trapped in a reality where every credible source confirms what they desperately wanted to deny. You're not lucky. You're skilled. You're not fake. You're authentic. You're not performing. You're being. You're not pretending to be different. You are different. And now they have to reconcile their narrative with professional consensus. And that reconciliation is destroying them from the inside. Here's what they're experiencing right now. This exact moment. In their racing minds and sinking stomachs. Cognitive dissonance on a scale they've never felt before. Their ego telling them you can't be that good while experts confirm you are. Their jealousy insisting you're fake while credentials verify you're real. Their need to feel superior colliding with professional assessments of your superiority. Their comfort in dismissing you shattered by authoritative validation of your legitimacy. And the worst part for them, they can't even complain about it without exposing themselves. They can't say the experts are wrong without looking desperate. They can't dismiss professional consensus without revealing their bias. They can't argue with credentials without admitting their own inadequacy. They're stuck swallowing a truth that tastes like poison, that you were always what you claimed to be, always what they feared you were, always what they couldn't become themselves. The communication experts who analyzed your expression, your words, your silence, they weren't finding empty performance. They were finding authenticity so pure, it makes scripted people look robotic. They studied your consistency across contexts, how you speak the same truth in private as in public, how your message doesn't shift based on audience, how your values remain fixed regardless of pressure. They examined your silence, expecting to find avoidance, but discovered strategic wisdom about when words add value versus when they dilute power. They analyzed your responses to criticism, looking for defensiveness, but found someone who processes feedback without losing center. They tracked your communication evolution, expecting to find someone mimicking success, but witnessed genuine voice development. Their conclusion devastated everyone who called you fake. This person's communication style demonstrates rare congruence between internal state and external expression. They're not performing authenticity. They're radiating it. Every word carries weight because it comes from genuine conviction. There's no script here, just truth spoken without apology. The success analysts who broke down your achievements, they weren't finding smoke and mirrors. They were finding architecture. They mapped your growth trajectory, studied your decision patterns, analyzed your risk calculations, examined your failure recovery. They looked for the luck, the shortcuts, the advantages, the hidden help. But what they documented instead was a masterclass in self-made success. They found someone who bet on themselves when nobody else would. Someone who invested in skills while others invested in shortcuts. Someone who built foundations while others built facades. Someone who played long games while others chased quick wins. someone who accumulated knowledge while others accumulated followers, someone who developed capabilities while others developed excuses. Their assessment had to conclude what shattered every dismissive narrative. This person's success is systematic, not accidental. Their growth is strategic, not lucky. Their achievements are earned, not given. They didn't stumble into excellence. They architected it. Let me tell you what's happening in group chats right now, in private conversations, in whispered exchanges between people who doubted you. Panic, confusion, desperate scrambling to salvage narratives that just collapsed. They're reading these expert reports like they're reading their own obituaries. They're seeing their judgments demolished by people whose judgment they supposedly trusted. They're watching their conspiracy theories disintegrate under professional scrutiny. They're experiencing the unique horror of being proven wrong by their own evidence. And they're realizing something that will haunt them forever. They weren't skeptical, they were hating. They weren't being realistic, they were being jealous. They weren't protecting themselves from fraud, they were protecting their ego from facing someone genuinely superior. The experts confirmed what deep down they always knew but refused to admit. You're the real thing. And they wasted years doubting something authentic because accepting it would mean confronting their own limitations. The leadership experts who evaluated your influence patterns, they weren't seeing someone who manipulates followers. They were seeing someone followers choose to follow despite receiving nothing in return. They studied how you lead without needing titles, how you inspire without needing recognition, how you set standards without needing enforcement. They examined your impact on others, expecting to find dependency, but discovered empowerment. They analyzed your approach, looking for control tactics, but found someone